Greetings to the mayor and to the council members. We're happy that you have responded to take care of things every month, and we hope we can keep pushing and do some things. That's what we're here for.
So are we.
Okay. Last time we had two of the Steves gone, so I'm gonna review a little bit, why am I here? My main thing is I love Springfield, and Springfield is 150 years old, and can you believe that I've been a part of Springfield almost half of that time, which seems kind of unbelievable, but I want you to know that I know a lot of people who are deceased and have gone through those 70 years that I've been a part of Springfield that have done a lot of things because they love Springfield. And some of these people, I didn't mention the last time, but do you know that the fire department, and some of you guys are on the fire department, my husband was, my son was, many men are, they volunteer and give up their time, and it's not a lot of fun to get up at 2 or 3 in the morning when the whistle blows. I know we had a fire alarm in our house for many years, and it's a dedication. Why do they do that? Because they loved Springfield. They knew that somebody had to come up and answer that particular thing. And the EMTs, it sounds like we're getting on course with that, and that's really good too, because there again, those people, they don't have to do that. And you know, when you live in a town where you know the need is there, they show that they love Springfield too. And we have American Legion, we have the auxiliary. These people, they've given their time as veterans, and they come and do a lot of things because at every funeral where there's a veteran, they show up and give their respect. And the auxiliary plants flowers, and at Terrace Park, these people have their own gardens. They wouldn't have to do that. But again, I'm trying to show you why there are people that love Springfield. And I can't help but think of our Chamber of Commerce. Way back, we started the 4th of July celebration. And you're not gonna believe this, but us chamber members had to make homemade ice cream for everybody that came to the fireworks and to the fun. And it was free, can you imagine that? And it grew. Through the years, you can see what it's done. And if you ever see Gary Solacci, there's a guy that loves Springfield because he puts a lot of hours to get that fireworks together. And I'm just trying to show you some of the people, what they're doing. A lot of the people have gone by and they're in the cemetery out there. But anyway, the museum is another good thing. It's there because we want to keep track of the history, what's going on and through the years. And so we have a good college one, and we have a historical one, beautiful. Those people like Clark Thomas and Cleo Sandvik and Albert Fissler, they did a lot of work, and all volunteer. And so I think we should try to remember these people because Springfield wouldn't have these things. Now I can talk to Cindy, and she knows what her dad did when we built the swimming pool. Her dad was an excavator, you know, and we did the whole town did a lot of work to raise money and pay for that pool because we knew the kids needed a pool. And all I'm trying to tell you is these are things that have happened in those years. And so anyway, I could bring more things out, golf courses and the eating program. Our seniors, it's probably rated the #1 in the state almost because the Dakota Club went ahead and did the groundwork to see if we needed it. It passed and it has been going for a number of years. So I'm just speaking on behalf, not that I'm the doer of things, but these people have done a lot of stuff. And it's good to see the motel person here tonight too, because they're extending their extra motel services over at the kind of on Pine Street, is it? Yeah. And So, you know, there's still people coming in. We don't all wanna argue and do things our way. We just wanna keep Springfield beautiful and make it as good as we can. I have to tell you a little story about the cemetery. Now, the city doesn't have anything to do with the Springfield City Cemetery. And I have to tell you, back when our cemetery was in really bad shape, about 50 years ago, we had a lady who had lived here. Her name was Dr. Stevens, and she retired here. And she looked, her people were buried in that cemetery, and she just nearly fainted to see what a mess the whole cemetery looked like. So what does she do? She gets the garden and flower club going. She goes out with these old ladies. Now, I mean, they're a whole bunch of older ladies, and they're out there chopping volunteer trees and hanging on whatever. And people are going by and they're thinking, oh my God, why are these, they're gonna kill themselves out there. Of course, we always have this joke, people are dying to get out of the cemetery. But anyway, one of our good artist souls, Cleo Sanders, said, you know what, let them do that. They know they're doing good, and if something happens out there, hey, it happens. You know, they could fall in town too, so I think about that so often. And since then, that cemetery has had good care. It's run by local people, and it's not under the city, and they tried to get it once, but it didn't work. So anyway, okay, these are the things and there's more I could tell you about, but I wanna speak in their behalf because they didn't do these things just for the fun of it. They did it because they wanted Springfield to be a good place to live. And I know most of you own your own homes, and if we keep letting our city people do whatever they want here in Springfield, we're gonna get what we put up with. And I think many residents have done wonderful things, but we can't go and do the job of the city council. You're responsible for putting things in action. You know, we can't go knocking on the door and say, hey, Joe, you're in trouble, the zoning laws are this way, and I can't do it, you can't do it, but, okay. Last month, we handed each of you a sheet that looks like this. And these are the pictures, of course. I had them here last time too. And we are interested to know, 2 years ago, this is what they look like now. And these were promised that they would get on top of them and take care of those nuisance properties. So, your homework, I hope you did some homework. What is being done with 1012 Ash Street? And that's the picture that's over right there. It's when you go down on the marine, or to the base of Bluff Road.
Oh, okay, it's the one right on the corner.
Yeah. Have you, I mean, are you doing anything with any of these properties, like sending letters or legally?
Well, a lot of them with those cars there, I know they've all had notices, and the thing of it is, they can have them there, sit there and everything else, as long as they license them. They go and license those vehicles and they sit.
Okay, but now, the zoning laws don't allow that you can have 15 things out in your yard, do they?
I've never really seen anything that says you can't.
Well, the zoning was put in the 70s, and I understand that there are some limitations how many vehicles. Now, I live close to a place that they keep adding camper, a closed-in thing.
You know, I've never really looked that close. I'll try to make a
Yeah,
look
I
through
just
them a little
wondered,
bit more.
I know that somebody said, this one here, some of them were tagged right, and some of them are like falling apart and so
Yeah.
forth, you know.
Some of them, they're tagged, but I've never seen them move.
No, they
In all
never
the years
moved,
I've been
no.
here, no.
And I guess if we're gonna keep our town beautiful, there has to be some reason we can call a nuisance, and they
I'll try to look into that.
Yeah, okay, you look into that one. And then the Walnut one, that's the one, let's see, that one is by,